Capture life's moments like never before with Rockbrook Camera, Nebraska and Western Iowa's premier camera store since 1975. Rockbrook Camera is not just about selling you a camera. It's about helping you become a real photographer, recording your life and sharing it with others. Today's cameras are faster, easier to use, capable of shooting stunning video, and with film photography making a comeback, there's never been a better time to dive into the world of photography. Rockbrook Camera goes as fast or as slow as you want to go. You can try before you buy with camera rentals, or give that older generation camera in the used department a whole new journey. Find Rockbrook Camera, 1 block south of 168th and West Center in Omaha, 70th and Pioneers in Lincoln, and at rockbrookcamera.com. That's rockbrookcamera.com. Discover or rediscover your love of photography today at Rockbrook Camera. Great photography begins here.
I believe it was 5 separate craft. That's some straight UFO shit right there.
That's when I started seeing all of the lights and the contact that I've been witnessing.
Kept filming and looking up at the sky, and it just started happening more frequently.
Look, what is that? What is that? What was that?
Everyone, this is ASDP UFOologist Paul Wellborn from North Yorkshire in the UK, and you're watching the Alien Strand podcast with your amazing host Donald Ledesma.
AlienStrand.com, the official website.
Everybody, welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I am your host, Don Ledesma, and welcome to today. Hey, so, we are live actually on Instagram right now. We are live here. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We're live on X. We're live everywhere right now. So I just, first of all, I wanted to thank everybody for being for just kind of listening up today. I have some announcements before I talk about some UAPs and the news, because we do have some news going on in the world of ufology. And, we've had some things happen, and I had an uncle that passed away, and then a few days ago now, my mom's birthday today. So thank you guys for wishing her happy birthday. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the condolences of my uncle. So, but let's go ahead and go forward. So I'm putting out this podcast today because I want you guys to know that, I don't know if I'm going to continue on the live here, keep on doing live podcasts, but I think I'm going to go forward. Okay. I'm going to keep on going forward because I've talked to a few people today and they just told me, hey, your podcast gives a lot of information to people out there that really need this information, as far as like to people that have been abductees or just researchers or just people in general like that they want to get the word out, and your podcast is one of the first ones that were out there, and it gives a lot of it gives voice to the voiceless, right? So and I've said that before from the very beginning, and I just want to thank you guys for kind of just sticking around and listening to me for about 5 years now. Believe it or not, 5 years has gone by, and I have not stopped going, man. It's just because it's my passion and I love what I do, right? So it's neither here nor there, right? But I have to do this, man, because it's in my blood to talk about a lot of these things about ufology and Bigfoot and all these things that happen around us, even into dimensions like I talked about before. This past podcast that I just did was about your soul having energy, things like that, and because I like to just not talk about UFOs and aliens, I like to talk about you as a human being, because that's what we are, and we live here in this domain, in this thing we call Earth, right? And it just kind of interesting how the energy kind of flows through there. But you know what? We do have a Patreon. So go to our Patreon page. If you know what Patreon is, if you don't, download Patreon. It's like Spotify, iHeartRadio, things like that. And go check us out, Alien Strand Podcast. We got some podcasts out there that I've done. There's one that I just did called Are We Alone, right? Are we alone in this whole vast universe, right? And I threw that podcast out for Patreon members only, but if you're a member, go check that out, and that way you guys can check that, all right? I do have merch as far now. The middle two, I'm still waiting. Every day I'm checking. Every day I'm always got my fingers, I'm biting my nails, because we have this film called The Middle. For the people here on Instagram, we have a film called The Middle Part 2. The Middle Part 1 was already out. We threw it out there. It's on 10 platforms already, but The Middle Part 2 is coming out like real soon, man. I feel it coming through, and we're just waiting on that. All right, so kind of be expecting that to come out soon. Past podcast that I did, Origins of Everything, same thing. And that one was on audio only, all right? Of course, the middle two will be on Amazon Prime, so be looking out for it. If you got Amazon Prime, go down. If you don't have it, go download it. It's called Amazon Prime Video, and this is where this film will be coming out. It's a documentary film, and it's going to be... it's going to introduce a lot of people that have had close contact with extraterrestrials, UFOs, and what happens to them afterwards, all right? Because that's what it's about, and we're just trying to get all the information out. Now, the middle part 1 is on 10 live channels. You can find it TCL, Tubi TV, Amazon Prime. It's still there, all right? So we're rocking and rolling with that one. Thank you guys for letting us do that. Now, as far as the middle on YouTube, it has been taken down, okay? If you guys haven't seen it, sorry about that. I had it up there for 3 weeks already for free for you guys. And we got about almost 800 hits on it. It's great, man. It was great. But, we took it down. It slowed down, almost stopped. So I was like, well, okay. So I took it down, and just I hope you guys watched it. I appreciate that. But you can still see it for free on Tubi TV, on these other channels, right? Look for it out there, right? It's just, that was my very first film, and I enjoyed it. So we got the middle tetralogy coming out. Tetralogy, man. It's a big word, but it means 4, right? So we got the middle part 1, part 2, part 3, and we're going to have part 4. So be in tune, because these films are going to be coming out back to back like every 3 months, all right? So just kind of hang in there for these. They're going to be really, really well put together as far as like the story so that way you guys can know what these folks went through. Now, let me talk about that just for a second. So I have a few friends of mine all over Facebook, and I read their comments and things like that, and they have gone through a lot of dramatic and things that have happened with them with as far as like extraterrestrials, or they've actually had an encounter, or they've been actually taken into a craft, right? And when I spoke to one this morning, and she says, man, I did one documentary, and they didn't put it exactly like the way it happened, right? And she just kind of frowned on that. She said they did a great job though, but it was kind of like it was kind of turned a little bit, like if you remember Fire in the Sky with Travis Walton up there in Arizona. He said his same thing. When they made the movie Fire in the Sky, they just added a lot of extra stuff for dramatic. The feel for the film, right? And of course, a lot of big industry filmmakers, they do these things, because it's a high budget. Maybe they had enough money, they were able to add some more stuff in there, and kind of sometimes it takes away, from the real thing. But if you can read Travis Walton's his book, he's got it out there, and there's a lot more to that than just the film. The film tells a lot of the story, but there's a lot of that as well. But she was saying that how, this has happened. I was like, you know what? I am a documentary filmmaker myself, right? And I said, well, what I do is I try to get in depth to the people that I'm interviewing, and I want to make sure that I'm correct and try to get as much as on there as possible. Sometimes I don't get it all the way at 100%, but at least at 99%, I get most of it correct where it's supposed to be there. Now, it's hard to relive those images and those things that are happening because it takes a lot of production to do something like that, right? A lot of money, expensive. Like, most small films are about $4 million, right? A documentary film anywhere between $10,000 to $50,000, to $100,000, depends on how you're going to make the film. I'm talking like low budget, independent, man. But what I wanted to talk about today was, the UAP news, because we have a lot of, we never get to touch. We always talk about the past and things that happened in the past where they're great stories, and I really appreciate that. But and I love talking about those. But we have to talk about what's happening now, right? What's happening now to everyone out there when we're doing these podcasts and of course Congress, things like that that's happening in like UAP. Like me and Terry, UAP Weekly, we talk about things that happen, but you don't get to talk about the backstory. So I saw this story, right, and it's on actually CBS on their webpage. I want to bring it up here just so that you guys can check this out just for a second. So and it just talks about NASA UAP finds evidence of extraterrestrial UFOs, but some encounters still defy explanation, right? And those are the things that we always talk about, that why it does that, right? And and it says an independent group of scientists, experts commented by NASA found no evidence that unidentified anomalies, phenomena known as UAPs, UFOs, are extraterrestrial in nature, but stressed that better data is needed to understand some encounters that have defined explanation, right? And I get that. I mean, don't you? I mean, I get that. They're just kind of saying, hey, we need more proof. I know we see these things in videos and things like that, but we need more proof, right? And what's better to have proof than, I'm thinking, to me personally, I think NASA should visit a lot of these ufologists that are out here, not just myself and Terry or everybody out there. There's a lot of great ufologists out there. I'm not talking about the people that come out on History Channel and all these. Now they're great too. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are really good, but there's a lot of them that just actually all they do is study history, and they kind of just put all those together. They're not actually got their boots on the ground studying these things and looking up at the sky and catching a lot of these things as they're going by. So it says NASA formed a group of 16 experts last year to examine how the space can do better to contribute to scientific understanding of these objects, right? And it says, which have been hundreds of military commercial pilots, right? On Thursday NASA evening, NASA announced that they were appointing Mark McCartney as its director of UAP research, right? And it says here that he will centralize communications and resources of data analytical capabilities to establish robust data for the evaluation for the future of UAPs, right? In other words, he says, I am going to go into this detailed thing, right, and figure out what these things are, right? And I mean, I'm glad they're actually moving forward and come on, get it out of there and let's get going. Let's see how these things do, and let's get some disclosure going. So, and I mean, these are the UAPs, right? These are the things that we've been seeing in the sky since the beginning, right? Since 1960s, 1950s, even the 1940s, right? And we've been taking photographs of these things over and over and over, as you see here on these images, right, that I'm putting up on screen. Now, you guys in audio world, these are just some old images of some UAP crafts that are up in the sky. You know, you can really tell that they're UFOs, and you know they have some kind of energy around them, to where these photos are showing the actual data of the energy, and there's something there in that skyline, right? And these are the things that we're trying to get across to folks, that not just what they're talking about in Congress, you know, or NASA. It's just that what we've been trying to do for all these years, right? And it's crazy how now everybody's trying to jump on the bandwagon and starting to figure these things out, right? Because this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be trying to figure these things out, and you know, and just trying to figure out what are these things, right? Hey, Paul, how you doing, my brother? Mr. Paul Welburn's out there from the UK. Yeah, he loves these old photos. He's the guy I'm always talking about. I love him to death. So, you know, and when we talk about these UAPs, we try to get a lot of this information to you guys as much as possible. I mean, there's a lot of information about this data, right? And it even says right here, it says, formerly known as the unidentified anomalous phenomenon independent study, the group issued a final 36-page report on Thursday with several recommendations about how the space agency can use scientific expertise to contribute the government investigation into these objects, right? So, and it's they're just trying to say, okay, look, man, just use it. Use what you guys have, and let's do this, right? But it says, look, the top takeaway from the study is that there's a lot more to learn. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson said about the briefings and findings. NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAPs have an extraterrestrial origin, but we know what these UAPs are. All right. So he's pretty much telling you, hey, we know what they are. We just don't know if they're extraterrestrial, right? And it's kind of strange how when they're talking to these to these big old head honchos that are in charge of these space programs and things like that they, to me, I'm just saying, to me, right? It kind of, they move in different directions, right? When they're asked a question, it's like they go around things, right? And how do we, you know, how do we not answer? How do they not answer these things correctly, right? And I always wondered about, you know, why people dodge a lot of things, and it's because they know something, right? And that's what it is. They know something, and they just can't tell you, right? And that suck, really. That happens to us as the public, right? But we get to pay them the big bucks too, so they can do that, right? And you know, I'm showing a photo here of some more UFOs, UAPs, right? These are the things that are people are finding up in the sky, that I actually, the photo in the middle, if you look at it, I took this from we were at Walmart, me and my wife yesterday, and I just loaded up all the groceries and things for Christmas and all that good stuff, right? And I looked in front of me, I was like, wow, that cloud looks like a rectangular cloud, right? And it was strange. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take the photo. So I took the photo of it. I have not analyzed it or anything like that yet, but it was just strange because I haven't seen those kind of clouds out here in my area down here in South Texas, right? And that always freaks me out just for a minute, just trying to get it all put together, right? And of course, we have these. There was another photo there of Argentina of 1960, right? You see this craft up in this field. And I mean, that one must have been a great thing to see at the time, if you really think about it. Now, I mean, if you don't know what we're trying to do here as far as like extraterrestrials, things like that, we're trying to give you more disclosure, and that's basically what Alien Strand here is doing, and what everybody else tries to do with Alien Strand, and not just us, but there's a lot of other podcasters out there that actually put this information out as well, and we all we're trying to do is show you that, not just what they said in that article about if UAPs are real or they're not, or, we got to figure out exactly what they are. And, and then they go around a bunch of questions, and it kind of it throws you off just for a minute. And you're like, man, can't you guys just be straight with us at least one freaking time? And that's my thing, I just don't get that part, of why they do things like that to the general public, and maybe, and I've talked about this before, maybe they don't want to scare you, maybe they don't want to scare you because of extraterrestrials, right? If we've ever seen an extraterrestrial, or maybe they've seen these things and they're like, well, wait a minute, I don't think that people should be messing with these things. You know what I mean? Because you start thinking about it, right? I'm throwing some photos of these extraterrestrials that people have caught, and they've caught with their cameras there, and strange indeed, but they all have this weird body shape, and these thin, creatures with these large black eyes almost look like goggles to me, right? I don't know if it is with you, but that's pretty much how it looks like to me. Like they're wearing some kind of shielding over their eyes because their eyes are sensitive to something, right? And we've noticed that before in the past, right? That when they've talked about these extraterrestrials, that is a coating around their eyes, to where it because of the sunlight and I guess maybe they see in a different spectrum. Heck, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how these things actually see us, but maybe that's the fear factor of the government saying, you know what, I don't think that the public is ready to coexist with something like this, and maybe they know something about it, they just not throwing it out there, right? And as for us, as down here on, we are just the ants down here. We have our phones, we have technology, we are actually getting photos of these things, and we're actually putting them together with our own data, our own analysis, right? And that's the good thing about a lot of people today, that we're starting to smarten up. Really, in reality, we're smartening up, and we're trying to get a lot of this information out to people. Now, if you see a lot of stuff, man, share it on your groups, share it all over the place, not just on Alien Strand, but, different groups. If you see something new that you've never seen before, throw it out there, man, and get it out to the general public, so that way you guys can, I mean, a lot of us have seen a lot of these photos. I've seen hundreds and hundreds, maybe 1,000 videos and photos of a lot of these extraterrestrial UFOs, things like that. I've seen hundreds every day, right? And throughout all this time that I've been researching, so sometimes I'll get a few stragglers, and I'll like, wow, I've never seen that kind of UFO before, or craft, and I start sharing the heck out of it because I think you guys should know, right? It's just like everything else. You should know where your money's at, where your money's going, right? But hey, when you got to pay your taxes every year, right? They want that money. Well, you want to know where your money's going. That's how I see it. So I throw the information out there so that way you guys can see exactly what's out there. Now there's another. I found another one off of the New York Times. They just brought it out, I believe, on the 14th. It says. Congress orders UFO records to be released, but drops a bid from a broader disclosure. A newly passed measure directs the National Archives to collect documents related to UFOs as they disclose confidential records within 25 years, but stops short of ordering more transparency. Right? That's what I'm getting at. I got a big old out of that one, okay? So it says Congress passed legislation on Thursday that directs the government to eventually tell the public at least some of what it knows about UFOs, but stops short of more aggressive steps, and lawmakers sought to force greater transparency around the identified phenomenon and extraterrestrial activity. I mean, what are your thoughts about that, what I just read to you?
Capture life's moments like never before with Rockbrook Camera, Nebraska and Western Iowa's premier camera store since 1975. Rockbrook Camera is not just about selling you a camera. It's about helping you become a real photographer, recording your life and sharing it with others. Today's cameras are faster, easier to use, capable of shooting stunning video, and with film photography making a comeback, there's never been a better time to dive into the world of photography. Rockbrook Camera goes as fast or as slow as you want to go. You can try before you buy with camera rentals, or give that older generation camera in the used department a whole new journey. Find Rockbrook Camera, 1 block south of 168th and West Center in Omaha, 70th and Pioneers in Lincoln, and at rockbrookcamera.com. That's rockbrookcamera.com. Discover or rediscover your love of photography today at Rockbrook Camera. Great photography begins here.
All aboard for your chance to win $1,000 every week until December 28th. That's right, $1,000 cash just in time for the holidays. To hop on board, just head to ChurchillMortgage.com and punch your ticket to the Churchill Express giveaway. Visit ChurchillMortgage.com for your chance to win big.
This is a paid advertisement. NMLS ID 1591. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Equal housing lender. 1749 Mallory Lane, Suite 100, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027.
New on Curiosity Stream, we've walked with dinosaurs. We've explored our prehistoric planet, and we were always told the same story. Extinction came from the sky. But what if dinosaurs survived? Amazing Dino World 2. Watch it now on Curiosity Stream. With monthly, annual, and bundle plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
They're saying, we want you to be more aggressive, right? We want you to get into depth of these UFOs and stuff. But we don't want to know where the money's coming from. Right? I think that's pretty much kind of looks like to me. Because they want transparency now. Transparency meaning they want to know where this funding is coming from, where this money is, and who's funding it, right? Which is you and I. And it says, under this provision, President Biden is expected to sign into law any records not already officially disclosed must be made public within 25 years of their creation, unless the president determines that they must remain classified for national security reasons. Here we go again. It's like they're opening the door, the big door for us, right? And then they close it back up again. Is this making sense to any of you guys out there? I mean, what they're trying to do. It sounds great, man. It sounds perfect. I'm like, man, That was amazing, you know. We're finally going to get to figure out some things, but if it looks too much like a real UFO, or it's something that's real, they don't want you to see it. Because they're going to have to hide it, right? National security. Because of national security. That's what it's about. Now, just think about this for a minute. It's been a national security since 1947, since the crash of Roswell, right? 1947. Think about that. And today. It's been a national security. Even in Russia. It's nice security. We have to keep this hidden. Security. Now, don't you think if these extraterrestrials wanted to harm us, or they wanted to blow up our planet, or they wanted to kill everybody, or they wanted to stop everything, they would have done it already? Right? They have the technology. They can do whatever they want. They can control our minds, right? Basically. They can control everything if they wanted to. They have enough energy in one of those crafts that could probably to power up the whole world. Possibility. I'm talking power like electricity, things like that. Fusion. And because it's national security. Now, and this is what bothers me, that it should be, I mean, there's no national security. If it was security, then they would have done it a long time ago. They would have tried to kill us. They would have tried. And are we going to stop them? It's like us throwing Nerf guns at their ships or their weaponry, right? If they have that much technology, then they're going to be able to do even more devastation to everything. Then they'll take over. And to me, it's not that. It's the fear, and this is it right here, right? This is the key, right? That's going to fit, and it's going to unlock the door. It's the fear of giving us our own technology, possibility to where we don't have to depend on Big Brother anymore, right? And that's just going to be it. They're going to lose billions and billions of dollars. It's all about the money, man. You ever heard of that term? Greed is the root of all evils. Greed is. Because, I mean, if you really think about it, I don't care what you do or anything that happens to somebody that has done something in life that's really bad, it's going to be about greed. It's all going to come back to greed. All of it, right? It's always for personal gain, right? And that's greed. So they want to make sure you are in control. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist here or nothing like that. I'm just telling you like it is. I'm just telling you exactly like it is. That is your national security. Facebook user says they can just come and take us at any time. They don't want the regular people fraternizing with the aliens. Exactly. It says the truth. Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm trying to just kind of give you the news of what's happening on UAP Weekly and just UFOs in general of what's happening now. And it says right here, I'm going to read one more. It says, lawmakers in both chambers have recheated, I guess, up all efforts to increase government transparency surrounding UFOs, extraterrestrial matters, and conspiracy theories to proliferate, and suspicions persist that government is concealing information from the public. Wow. Yeah. That's yeah. We all know that. This says they have said Congress has reasons to believe that the executive branch has concealed information about UFOs that should be made public. Hey, man, at least they're on our side, right? At least they're on our side. And this is coming from the New York Times. I'm quoting the New York Times, man. Today. So there's a lot of things going on right now to where they're saying, hey, man, people are starting to grab hold. They want to know where their money's going. Congress is getting up there and saying, hey, man, we want to know about these UAPs, but we want to know where this money's coming from. Makes sense to me. Paul Wilburn says, it's now like we're being dropped a fed UAP information by the media to try not to desensitize the masses to the idea. A TV channel over here in the UK from now until the new year is running UFO programs from 1800 to 2 a.m. It says they're called UF Ho Ho Ho. Right, I like that. Right on. You know, and I'm just trying to give you the information of what I read today. And that's what we're trying to do here, man, with UAP Weekly and you know, the UFO news that I'm just giving you today. Just kind of giving you some updates, right, of what's going on, because you know, I haven't done a live one in about a week and a half. You know, a lot of stuff's been happening. But, you know, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today and show you. Oh, I got a video for you guys. I have a video for you guys. Let me show you this real quick. Now, this is an old video from, I believe, let me see, where is it at? Oh, there it is. It's like from 1980, maybe 1990. And there's these two gentlemen, and I believe there might be Japanese. It sounds like they're speaking in Japanese. And they're at the Grand Canyon. Okay? And they're just filming with their little camcorders. No, you know what? Those little camcorders were awesome, man. I don't care what anybody says. They were some freaking awesome, you know, recorders. I still have my small HD one, and it still works. That uses a little tape, you know. Anyway, so I'm going to show you this video. It's about 2 minutes long. Check this out, and you're going to freak out, man. But you have to watch this. Check this out.
だけど綺麗だね。もうすぐ日没だね。
赤いね。やっぱ肌寒いね。
何が光ってんだろう。ん？見たい？
超見たい。
もう結構ズームアップしてるよ。
ナップサックは持っていかなきゃいけないだろう、きっと。
なんかわかる？
UFO。極力軽くはするけど。
UFO かい。
575。こういう長いやつ。そうです。こう、筆でこう。名前知らへんの。短冊？短冊かな。
あ、UFO だ、絶対。もろ UFO。
マブ。
本当に UFO。マジで見て見て、この状態で見て。
マブで。
エニワン。
この状態っつうの？
超 UFO の形。
ちょっとわかんないとこだ。
ちょっと。一回ズームアウトしてから見てみそう。今撮ってます。撮ってるよね。うん。絶対 UFO。
嘘だ。
本当だって。ちょっと僕もグレー星人信じる気になる。
おーい。
UFO でしょ？
ほほー。
UFO でしょ？
明日降る道取った？明日降る道取った？
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Is that crazy or what? That's like one of the best ones I've seen out there from that time, you know. Somebody, I mean, they caught a craft that was actually hovering over the Grand Canyon. Now, they just happened to be at the right place at the right time when they caught this craft. Now, people in audio land, they're just, all they're doing is kind of zooming in, zooming out on this video, and it's first it shows almost like an orb. When they zoom back out and then they zoom back in, it actually makes the shape of a saucer that's lit up kind of like in gold. Actually, it's a nice video. When I saw that, I was pretty blown. I've never seen that video before, ever. And that's what I was talking about earlier, right? When I see something that I've never seen before, I want to throw it out there. So, you know, I just thought that you guys should see that and just kind of determine yourself. Now, like I always say here in Alien Strand Podcast, I'm not here to make you believe. That's up to you to decide. You know, all that's for you to decide, not for me. So I just kind of give you the evidence, right? All right, guys. So I am going to let you go for today, and I appreciate you guys watching and chiming in today. There was a few you guys watching tonight. I really appreciate that today. And you know, I'm going to have some other podcasts coming up here pretty soon. And I'm working on the middle part 3, so I'm getting that one going. And I just wanted to kind of bring you up to speed on the news, what's happening today. And I'm going to probably put out a couple of these during the week and just kind of give you some more updates of what's going on, if anything changes, right? So just kind of say, keep your eyes in the sky. You know, make sure be safe out there. If you're going to take a video, you're going to take a photo. Make sure that you pull over. Take the photo of the video from outside your window, not inside your window, because we're going to get spots and all kinds of crap, and it's not going to look good for us, and we can't figure it out, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. I might be glitching a little bit. It looks like I'm seeing that. But if you're watching us on Instagram for the first time, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys. You know, our Instagram handle, and if you guys want to go to Instagram and kind of follow us there, we do have an Instagram, right? And I'm going to throw this out on screen for you real quick. So these are our handles at Don Leds. That's for me, my personal Instagram. And the one you're watching right now is at Alien Strand Podcast. They're on Instagram. Go check us out there. We are actually live on X as well. Appreciate you guys. We're on 26, 27 audio platforms. If you missed it today, you can always catch it up on audio. If you just want to listen to me ramble a little bit, I really appreciate that. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, at Alien Strand Podcast. And, you know, until then, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. And have yourselves a good night.
This is ASDP ufologist Terry Ledge from Oregon. You're watching the Mothership Alien Strand Podcast with your host, Donald Ledesma.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.